Hello, my name is Joshua Odomark. I'm doing a trial recording for PandioML. In this demonstration, I'm going to build a credit card fraud detection model. I'm going to use a data set and a pipeline to do that. I've downloaded the data set here. It's close to 300,000 rows with about 30 features. So I'm going to go through and show how quickly you can build a predictive model with PandioML. So the first thing we're going to do is generate the data set. This will create a project template for me. Now I'm going to create another one for the pipeline. Alright, there we go. So first we're going to start with the data set. I'm going to move this into this folder and then open up. This is the file that contains everything we'll need here. This was built from a template, so I'm just going to go edit a couple things here. So that's the file that has all the data in it, and let's change this. The data set has a header, so we're going to parse it to have the data in the format that's easy to use. Now I need to cast the data because it comes all in strings here. So this is going to be the only column that needs to be an integer. The rest are floats. There we go. Now, since we've got a nice pretty dictionary, we'll just pass that in here. Now we need to update this. This sets the schema of the data here, so looks like we need to import the float class here. Okay, so now we just need to do some copying pasting. There's 28 of these features, so I'll just cut the video back here when I'm done. Okay, and we're back. So just went through quickly here. It took me a couple minutes just to copy paste these V1 through V28 in here. This just creates a strong schema for us. So as I read in the data, I set it to a schema so that when it gets into the pipeline, it fits a certain schema. So I'm confident in the type when it comes in. So that's all we have to do here. So now we're going to jump into the pipeline. So this automatically comes with some code for you, so we're going to do some updates here. So I'm using an accuracy metric. For this particular use case, just want to look at a confusion matrix because it'll just be a better judge of how well the model does here. As for the features, we know as we're just working with that data set that this is going to be already set to a schema here, so we just need to read this in and set it to the features. Just type out some code. So basically what I'm doing here is input is automatically defined with every record from that CSV, and since it's a class instantiation of that schema, I'm just after the dictionary values of it. And class is my label, so I just want to remove that. So that's all that's happening here is I'm just setting the features to the items from that class, but I'm removing the label. So now we'll just go in here and actually set the label. And we updated this to a confusion matrix. I'm actually going to print this as well, so as this is going we can see how it's doing. And the scalar is already set up for me here. Comes automatically by default, but you could switch this if you need to be. The pipeline's just traditional. This is how most of them will look, so it's just pre-baked for you. In the done here, I'm just preparing the output into its own schema as well, so I define the schema up here. This one's just a simple single value. But you could add other things. You could add the entire input record and append prediction to the end of it. So instead of 30 features, you'd have 31 with the prediction in there. It's really up to you what you need that to be. You could pass an individual ID here just to keep it lightweight. It's really completely up to you. That should be good there. Let's go ahead and test it here. We're just going to do 10 loops real quick just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Nice. So it went through and worked here. So now that we know the code is right, here's the confusion matrix just printed out here. This is really just raw output to show progress. You can sort of add in any type of logging you want or anything like that. So now that we know it's working, let's run through about 3,000 examples. And again, there's close to 300,000, so we're just sort of iterating to making sure everything's correct. Now here it's asking me if I want to save artifacts. If I say no, it's just running through and not saving anything, and all you get is a print output. So artifacts are nice because that will actually store the model and the metrics that you're saving and things like that, and the code, so that you can recreate the exact test in the future. So I'm going to save some artifacts this time, and then we'll let it run through the 3,000 records. Alright, so we just got through the 3,000 records here. We just cut while that was running, just so you don't have to sit there waiting. It took about 40 seconds to get through that there. So let's go back and look at the confusion matrix here. So not very helpful. We didn't get through really enough data to make this valuable. So what we're going to do is cut together another 10,000 records here, and then we'll be back once this completes. And again, once this kicks up here, we'll save the artifacts so that we can see how it did once it finishes. And again, this saves the model, the runtime settings, the files used to execute this, so all of the pipeline, the dataset index, etc., etc. So we'll be back in just a few seconds here. All right, so we're back. So we got through 10,000 records relatively quickly here, just a couple minutes to get through this. So here's our confusion matrix. So there we go, a little bit better data. So this tells me we're on the right track here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut it again. I'm going to run through 100,000 records, and let's see what that confusion matrix looks like. All right, and we're back. So we've processed 100,000 records. We're looking at the confusion matrix here. So some work to be done. False positives are really high, so need some more records and fine-tune the features potentially. But we'll cut the video there. Just want to give an example of what that sort of looks like. We'll process all 300,000 and do a quick update towards the end. But just want to show that it's making progress, and you know, I can go in here and start sort of modifying my features, changing, removing. I can try different scaling methodologies and things like that. Even try different models up here at the top, see if something performs better than logistic regression. But just really want to highlight how easy it is and quickly with PandioML to just loop through these data sets and play around with what works well. So I'll cut it here. I'll do one more test with the entire data set, see how we did, and then wrap it up. All right, we're back. So we ran through about 300,000 almost. Looks like the accuracy didn't really change much. So when you do some iterations on the features and maybe play around with different models, just scaling the data differently. But all in all, not a bad effort for about 30 minutes worth of time. So thank you for watching, and look for more videos soon.